You are 31 years old and you have $87,000 in a savings account. Everybody in your life already knows what that number is for. Your mother knows, your girlfriend knows, the mortgage broker your coworker recommended definitely knows. $87,000 is a down payment. That is what $87,000 is for. So you do the thing that makes your family go quiet at Thanksgiving. You buy a laundromat instead, not a house. A laundromat in a strip center between a vape shop and a nail salon. 42 washers, 38 dryers, a coin machine that jams, a floor drain that smells in August. Your uncle asks whether you understand that houses go up in value. You say yes. He asks what a laundromat goes up in value. You don't have a good answer yet. You will. It takes 10 years and it costs more than you planned. This is that version of your life. Every year of it, including the year you almost lose everything. Start with the door you didn't walk through because you need to see it clearly. Your friend Marcus buys the house, same month, almost exactly the same savings, $420,000. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a garage with a workbench. He puts down $84,000 and borrows $336,000 at 6.8%. His payment is $2,190 a month, principal and interest. Add property tax and insurance and it becomes $2,817. Add the 1% a year that houses quietly eat and the house costs $38,000 annually. Over 30 years, he pays $788,000 for a $420,000 house. $452,000 of that is interest, rent paid to a bank instead of a landlord. This is not an attack on Marcus. Marcus is going to be fine. Marcus sleeps well, but notice something. Marcus's asset takes money. Every month, forever. It takes. And it only gives anything back if he sells it or dies in it. Now, look at the other door. The one nobody at that Thanksgiving table would have picked. The laundromat is listed at $340,000. You pay $295. It turns $286,000 a year in revenue and clears $104,000. That number has a name. Seller's discretionary earnings. What the owner actually takes home. You verify it the boring way. 14 months of water bills. Because water does not lie. A laundromat can decorate its books. It cannot fake the gallons through the meter.
1,200 loads a week of water. 1,200 loads a week on the tax return. The seller is 68, and his back is finished. That is the entire reason it's cheap. You get an SBA 7A loan. $265,000, 10 years, 11.25%. Your payment is $3,694 a month. You write a check for $29,500 down and $16,000 for closing and working capital. $45,500, gone in one afternoon. You have $41,500 left. Remember that number. In 14 months, it is the only thing between you and the end. And you keep renting. $14.50 a month. 1 bedroom. Upstairs neighbor who bowls at midnight. Everyone you know now quietly believes you have made a serious mistake. Year 1. You keep the job. $71,000 a year, plus the laundromat on top of it. You unlock at 5:15 in the morning. You come back at 9 at night to close. Week 3. The third bank of dryers stops heating. Not one dryer. 4, stacked, at once. $8,800. It comes out of the reserve and your hand shakes, signing. Month 5, the water heater. $6,200 more. The reserve is now $26,500. Here is what nobody tells you about buying from a man whose back is finished. He stopped fixing things 3 years ago. You didn't buy a laundromat. You bought a repair backlog. Year 1 revenue lands at $281,000, slightly down because you were learning. Earnings, $96,000. Debt service eats $44,300 of it. You clear $51,700. After the repairs, $36,700. Marcus, over the same 12 months, paid $3,540 off his principal. $3,540 of equity. That is year 1 of a mortgage. Everything else was interest. $22,700 of interest in a single year. You made $36,000. He made $3,500. And you feel like the one losing. Because you are wrecked. Because a toilet overflowed on a Sunday and you drove there in pajamas. Because Marcus posts a grill on a patio while you scrape lint out of a dryer duct. Year one of owning a business is not a return on money. It's a return on humiliation. Nobody wants the humiliation. But the humiliation is where the discount came from. Year two. You do the most terrifying thing a small business owner ever does. You raise the price. $3 a load becomes $3.75 on the 40-pound machines. 75 cents. You lose a week of sleep over 75 cents. You lose about 4% of your customers. You gain 25% on every load remaining. Revenue moves to $308,000. Earnings move to $121,000. That is the whole lesson of year two, and it costs you nothing at all to implement. Marcus cannot raise the price of his house. A house has no customers. It has bills. When his property tax climbs $400, there is nobody he can pass it to. 400 people a week decide your revenue. 0 people decide his. Year 3. You add wash, dry, fold. $1.65 a pound and 2 employees who are not you. 300 pounds a day is $495, earned before you unlock the door. Revenue, $349,000. Earnings, $148,000. In March, you quit the $71,000 job. You give 3 weeks. They are gracious about it. You walk to your car in a parking lot you will never park in again, and you sit there 11 minutes before you can drive. That's what $87,000 bought. Not a yard, not a garage. 11 minutes in a parking lot at 34 years old. Marcus, 3 years in, has about $12,000 of principal paid, but his house appreciated. $448,000 now. On paper, his equity is $112,000, which is real and which is completely unspendable unless he borrows against it or leaves. His asset appreciates. Your asset pays. Write that down because it is the entire video. Year 4 is the year you learn what you actually bought. The renewal letter arrives. Your rent goes from $4,100 a month to $5,800, $1,700 a month, $20,400 a year, gone, in one envelope. You call. You mention 4 years, never late, never a problem. He is extremely polite. He explains that a laundromat cannot move. Your machines are plumbed into his floor. $200,000 of equipment, bolted to concrete that belongs to somebody else. He is not cruel. He is doing exactly what you did when you raised your vend price. He owns the asset that pays him. And you, it turns out, are the thing paying it. This is the night the real hierarchy shows up, and it isn't the one your uncle described. It is not house versus business. It is who owns the thing the money must pass through. You pay the $5,800. Earnings fall to $131,000, and you start a file. The file is called The Building. It sits on your desktop 4 years before it means anything. Year 5. You buy the second location. $180,000, seller financed over 7 years. He carries the note because he is 71 and wants monthly income, not a lump sum. This is the quiet truth of buying businesses. The sellers are old. That isn't a tragedy. It's the market. 10,000 people turn 65 every day, and a lot of them own something with a register. Combined revenue, $610,000. Combined earnings, $214,000. You are 36 years old, and you earn $214,000 a year, and you work 62 hours a week, which means you bought yourself a very expensive job. That is the trap, and most people who buy a small business quietly die inside it. Year 6 is how you get out. Her name is Yolanda, and she ran restaurants for 11 years. You pay her $58,000 plus 4% of everything above a monthly revenue target. Everyone says 58,000 is too much for a laundromat manager. Everyone is watching the wrong number. Your earnings drop to 171,000. Your hours drop from 62 to 9. 58,000 bought back 53 hours a week. $21 an hour for your own life. But the hours are not actually the point. Something structural changed, and it changed permanently. A business you have to run is a job. A business that runs without you is an asset. Only one of those two things can be sold. Only one of them survives you getting sick. Your father found that out at 54 in a plant he had given 26 years to. They called it a restructuring. He came home at 11 in the morning carrying a box. He owned his house outright. 31 years of payments. The deed in a drawer in the hall. And it could not send him $1. Not one, in the worst 9 months of his life. 11,000 in savings, a paid-off house, and a man terrified at his own kitchen table. That is the image you carry. Someone who did everything right inside an asset that couldn't pay him. A paid-off house is not income. It is only the absence of a single monthly expense. Year 7. You get the business appraised because the SBA wants numbers before it lends again. 214,000 in earnings at 3.2 times is $685,000. That is not equity you have to die inside. Someone writes you a check for it on a Tuesday. Marcus, 7 years in, has paid down 34,000 of principal. His house is worth 486. Equity, 184,000. 150 of that is the market, not him. He has also paid $155,000 of interest since the day he signed. That is what the safe and sensible decision costs. It never appears on a closing statement. And again, Marcus is fine. Marcus was happier than you in year 1. That was genuinely true. Year 8. You open the file on your desktop, the one called The Building. The strip center goes up for sale. 1.1 million. 6 units. You are the anchor tenant. SBA 504. 10% down, $110,000. 25-year term. The check comes out of the business, not out of your savings. The business has savings now. Your own rent, $5,800 a month, now moves from your left pocket to your right. The other 5 tenants pay you $19,400 a month between them. The man who raised your rent $1,700 is the reason you own 6 rent rolls. He didn't teach you a lesson. He charged you for one. His version was cheaper. Year 9. You finally buy the house. $465,000. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a garage with room for a workbench. You did not skip the house. You bought it 9th instead of 1st. And the down payment came out of a machine you built, not a decade you sacrificed. Year 10. Add it up honestly, because honest is the only version worth watching. Marcus, house worth $541,000, owes $291, equity $250,000. He has paid $211,000 in interest, and he has 20 years still to go. And every one of those 240 months requires him to still have a job. You, 2 businesses worth $685, a building with real equity, a house, and no boss. $221,000 a year arrives whether you get out of bed or not, and you nearly lost all of it in month 14 when the reserve hit $9,000. One more dryer bank, one slow winter month, and this is a completely different video with a worse ending. So here are the rules, and not one of them is inspirational or comfortable. Verify with utilities, not tax returns. Water, power, gas. Numbers a seller cannot decorate. Hold 12 months of debt service in cash before you close. Not 6, 12. Assume every repair the seller skipped is now yours, and price it before you sign. Raise your prices in year 2. You are almost certainly charging too little right now. Hire the manager before you can comfortably afford one. That is what turns a job into an asset. And buy the ground under your machines the first moment you can. A house is where your money goes to sleep. A business is where your money goes to work. You are allowed to own both. Almost nobody does them in this order. Run the math on the door you didn't walk through. Then go find one with a cash register.